What is up, you guys? Welcome back. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's head to Baltimore, where both teams had their power strokes on point early on. First, Alex Bregman finally got off the schneid as he blasted his first home run of 2025 into the left field seats. It was a two-run shot to put up Boston 2-0. Next, Cedric Mullins returned the favor by sneaking this ball just inside the yellow rebar. Then, one of baseball's newest millionaires, Kristen Campbell, cranked his first home run of 2025. It was a two-run shot that sailed over the new and shorter left field wall. Now let's jump to the fourth, where Jared Duran drove in Dylan Carlson on this sac fly to left field. In the bottom half, Ramon Urias slashed this single into center field to bring home Kjerstad and cut the Sox lead down to 2. Now, unfortunately for the O's, it didn't make a difference as extra base hits from Costas in the 7th and Bregman in the 9th helped the Red Sox build a 5-run lead. In the end, Boston came away with an 8-4 win. Now let's head over to Philly, where the scoring didn't start until the middle innings when Bryce Harper doubled home Kyle Schwarber from third base. Now, speaking of Schwarber, he produced a run of his own by sending this ball 444 feet into the second deck in right center field. The ball left his bat at a 30-degree launch angle and flew an outstanding 110 miles an hour. It was Schwarber's 4th long ball of the season. Now, the silver lining for the Rockies in this contest is that they avoided the shutout after Sean Bouchard singled past the Philadelphia infield. But in the end, Philly came out victorious 3-1. Now let's head up north, where the hometown Twins drew first blood on a productive out from Carlos Correa and a single by Trevor Larnach. However, back-to-back blast by Walker and Pena tied the ball game up at 2-2 after 1.5 innings. 2 innings later, the Astros' second baseman, Brendan Rodgers, took matters into his own hands by driving home the go-ahead run on this single to Byron Buxton in center field. And then he doubled in the 6th to add some insurance runs for Houston, which ultimately secured a 5-1 win. Now finally, let's head to the Bronx, where Judge put down the gavel on the Snakes early on as he cranked this 3-run home run over the short porch in right field. Then a few batters later, Trent Grisham doubled home Jason Dominguez to give New York a 4-0 lead. Now let's head to the second inning, where Grisham struck yet again. This time it was a 2-run round tripper. This made it a 6-1 Yankees lead. Now the Diamondbacks bats, they woke up in the 4th after this Lourdes Gurriel Jr. double down the left side and an Alec Thomas RBI ground out to first base that scored Naylor. This made it 6-3 Yankees. However, just a half inning later, the Yankees tacked on 3 more runs. First, a single by Judge to left center field plated Ben Rice. Then a 2-run bomb by Jazz Chisholm, and his torpedo bat gave New York a sizable 9-3 lead. And now Geraldo Perdomo was not going to let his D-backs go down quietly as he sent his first home run of 2025 out of the park in grand style. Despite 4 runs scoring on the play, it wasn't enough for the Snakes to get past the AL Central champs as the Yankees torpedoed past the D-backs 9-7. Now, speaking of the torpedo bats, this thing has been all the rage. The Yankees have recently garnered attention for their use of an innovative torpedo bats. The design aims to improve weight distribution, allowing for faster swing speeds and increased exit velos. The concept, it was developed by Aaron Leinhardt, a physicist from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, and a former Yankee analyst who is now the field coordinator for the Marlins. So this is something that someone of high intelligence decided to come up with by using data research. They said that they looked at Yankees players' swing pass, such as Anthony Volpe, was one of the main guys in this study, I believe. The frenzy surrounding this bat, despite it being in use for well over almost 2 years now, began during the opening series against the Brewers, when the Yankees teed off for 5 home runs against former Yankee Nestor Cortez. Now, several Yankees, including including Jazz Chisholm, Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, and Austin Wells, have been using the bats, all of which went deep off of Cortez. Now, in the end, the Yankees hit a franchise record 9 home runs, totaling 3,695 feet in distance. Now, the Torpedo bats do comply with league specifications, making them legal to play. However, some players and commentators have expressed concerns regarding these Torpedo bats, one of them being Phillies reliever Matt Strahm, who suggested that, since this is legal, pitchers should be allowed to use grip-enhancing substances if hitters can use specialized bats. And again, this is something I wholeheartedly agree with. This is a valid point, very valid. If hitters are allowed to use modified bat designs to reduce a margin for error, then pitchers should also be allowed to use substances like spider tack and other grip enhancers, which serve the same purpose. I really don't understand the beef with this one. The way I look at it is that if you allow both of these tools, being Torpedo bats and spider tack, to be used, they kind of both offset each other, right? I mean, one thing I'd love to see is a full season of pitchers using sticky stuff and hitters using Torpedo bats. That would be amazing theatrics. Would we see, strikeout records being broken, or home run records being broken, or maybe even batting average being broken? You got to think about that, not just the power. Because again, people think, oh, it's a power thing. Not really, because if you think about it, it just helps you make better contact. So a guy like Luis Ariz, could he use his bat and then maybe get to 400? Does somebody test Ted Williams' 408 batting average, I believe, or 406 batting average from 1941? So that is something that would be very interesting to see if it does happen to come about. So is it fair? I have trouble with it because, again, it's not guaranteeing power necessarily. It's guaranteeing contact. Hard contact, yes. Does that translate into power? Yes. The idea is that the weight and the most part of the mass of the bat is moved down towards the handle. So, players won't hit it off the end of the bat, because when they do hit it off the end of the bat breaks or doesn't go anywhere. They hit like a cube shot. Will it translate into immediate home runs? Who knows? The Yankee thing, is it a coincidence? Maybe. Is it a direct result of these bats? Perhaps. Again, Aaron Judge has not used his bat, yet he hit 3 home runs, almost 4 in that Brewers series. So again, talent matters too. But when you have a guy like, Anthony Volpe, who struggled offensively and all of a sudden, is turning into prime Derek Jeter for the first series, it does raise some eyebrows. It really does. So that's kind of my thoughts on the whole thing. Leave yours down below. I love to know them. With that, guys, that's all I got. Please like, comment, subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you guys later.